The reason you're broke and still living in your mom's basement is because you choose to be there. No one's putting a bullet in your head telling you to play video games all day or party and drink every weekend. No one is to blame for your poverty but yourself. I know this hurts to hear. You're broke because you choose to be broke, because you choose to do nothing with your life. You're comfortable where you're at. Now look, I was once there. I used to love playing video games and binge watching anime all night. I loved living a life of debauchery, of partying and drinking every weekend. My dad worked so hard to put me through the best colleges for his kid to only amount to being a lazy drunk. It wasn't until two particular dates where I hit rock bottom due to drinking and driving and going through a life or death scenario where I sobered up and decided to do something with my life. In this video, I want to tell you the one thing that transformed me from a lazy bum living in his mom's basement to a successful online business owner who now makes tens of thousands of dollars a month. And that, my friends, is having a why, a reason to make money. If you don't have a strong why pushing you to make money, you're not gonna make money. You're gonna stay where you're at. Why? Because it's comfortable. The reason you're not able to wake up at 6 in the morning to put in that work to build your business is because you don't have a strong enough why. Because if you had a strong enough why, getting out of bed in the morning would be easy peasy. Sacrificing distractions, sacrificing video games become a piece of cake because of your why. But if that why isn't strong enough, you're never gonna achieve financial freedom. You're never gonna retire your parents. So in this video, we explore the why. When I hit rock bottom in June 26, 2022 and May something 2023, I had awakened a dormant reason, a dormant why to make something of myself. In order to understand the impact on exactly what happened to me during those two particular dates, we gotta go back a couple of years ago to when I was in college. Now, the reason I went to college was for a multitude of reasons. Growing up, my parents traumatized me. They told me if you didn't go to college, you'd be poor, right? You wouldn't amount to anything. So I had that in the back of my mind. And also, I really didn't know what I wanted to do in life, okay? I wanted to be rich, but I think that's pretty much the dream of every young person, right? They see people with Lamborghinis, they see people with like yachts. You aspire to be like these rich people, so that's kind of like the goal I had in the back of my mind. Okay, if I don't go to college, I'm not gonna amount to anything, and I wanna be rich, okay, let's just go to college. Because it was an easy way out for a lot of people that are, I guess, lost with life. But let's talk about the why while I was in college. Okay, I went to college because I wanted to be rich and because I didn't know what I wanted to do with life. But the thing is, my why while I was in college was really weak. I didn't have a strong enough reason. I didn't have urgency to be rich. I wanted to be rich because I wanted a Lamborghini, okay? But that was more of like an emotional thing, a status thing. I guess my ego was getting in the way. I didn't have that urgency. Like, I wanted a Lamborghini, but I didn't care when. I was like, I'm going to. I was like, oh, that's like the long-term vision. My why was weak. I didn't have anything motivating me to be rich now. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We have 4 years in college. Let's just go have fun. Okay, and like many young men, right? Leaving their hometowns, leaving their strict parents, you want to let loose, right? So all I did in college was just party, drink, party, drink, party, drink. I lived the life of debauchery. So that was a fun 4 years. So after I graduated college, my parents asked me a very valid question. What is it you want to do in life? And at this point, I was still lost in life, but I was so caught up in the partying and drinking I did during college that I was just, I guess, obsessed with that type of lifestyle. I wanted to continue that lifestyle. So I made lie after lie to my parents. Say, yeah, I want to go explore the world to discover myself. Really, what I was saying is I want to go and travel the world and go party. So I continued doing that for the next couple of years after graduating college. I spent my last savings, I guess, that I had from growing up, because growing up I worked at my dad's taco truck. I didn't have a why, okay? I graduated college, I had a degree. I was like, you know, I have a degree, you know, I can be rich, but in 5 years, 10 years, whatever, right? There's no necessary urgency right now. I can pull that dream off for 5, 10 years down the road. And the thing is, guys, my parents, they're not rich, but they're not poor. So I didn't have to worry about like, I gotta retire my parents. Okay, they were pretty comfortable. Since that was the case, like I didn't have that why, guys, okay? The why was weaker and weaker over time because I was obsessed with these other things. I had these other parties. I just wanted to bang chicks and drink and party. So I continued that lifestyle for the next couple of years after graduating college. Okay, I know you want to know what happened June 26, 2022. So fast forward to this day. I had been living in Mexico for a couple months now. I really wasn't doing anything. I was waking up around noon, okay? I was basically a parasite. Wake up late, I'd watch movies. Then in the afternoon, I would go to the bar. And then I would drink all night, party all night, wake up again the next day at noon, all hungover. It was a cycle that I was living in. I'm not very proud of it. Now I look back, it's just embarrassing thinking back how I used to be. But on this particular day, June 26, 2022, it was really not different than my other days, okay? It was very ordinary, okay? I was driving a dune buggy, which was my dad's dune buggy, a brand new dune buggy. It cost my dad $42,000, and he got it so that I can just enjoy while in Mexico, because in Mexico, it's just very, I guess, all-terrain. There's not a lot of cities where I live at, right? It's very rural. So I would drive that dune buggy everywhere, but I would drink at the same time. I was drinking and driving, and I know that isn't very smart, but my mind was in a different place there, okay? I was just drinking, driving, partying, whatever it is. And that particular day, I had two people with me, and I wanted to show off, okay? Because it was a really nice dune buggy, okay? It was a brand new dune buggy, and I wanted to speed, basically. And I was in this mountain. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm so stupid. I was in this mountain, and with my two friends, we were all drunk. I wanted to test out the speed. Let's see how fast this dune buggy goes. In this one curve, I didn't calculate the angle enough, and I flipped. Yeah, I flipped down that mountain with the two other people I was with. They went flying because they didn't have seatbelts, and I was the one that had most of the flips. I remember hitting the tree, bam! Next thing you know, ambulance is there, and my friends are sent to the emergency room. But I couldn't go see them. Why? Because the police was interrogating me. Why are you drinking and driving? Like, what happened? So I was there for like a couple hours, worried out of my mind, like, what happened to my friends? What happened to my friends? And while looking at I just remember this vividly. I was talking to the police officers while looking at my dad's destroyed dune buggy, because it was new, right? He had just gotten it like a month prior, and I destroyed it. He had even gotten on that dune buggy because he was busy working in the USA. So I remember talking to this police officer while looking at the destroyed dune buggy and just thinking, what the fuck am I doing with my life? My friends are in the hospital. I don't know what they're doing. I might go to jail for this. I destroyed a $42,000 dune buggy. I was broke. Like, at this point, I lost all my money due to drinking. So there's so many things going on in my mind. And I realized, shit, is this what rock bottom feels like? Because I truly was at rock bottom, at the bottom of the mountain after I flipped. And it sucked. I felt horrible deep down. I was like, I'm a horrible piece of shit as a human being. I wasn't contributing at all to society. All this time, I had just been doing nothing with my life. After we resolved the police issue and the tow truck took the dune buggy away, I went to the hospital. I remember also feeling like a piece of shit there. My one buddy was in the hospital because of me, because of drinking and driving. Luckily, after many hours of intensive care, he became fine again. I paid the hospital bill with my last bit of money. I literally was at zero, lost all my savings that I worked so hard. I remember growing up to save, but now I had the issue of like, okay, my dad's dune buggy, it's fucked. And after a couple estimates, the mechanics, they said they could fix it. It would be like $12,000 to fix the whole thing. I was like, fuck. Okay, I'm broke, I have no money. All I've been doing for the past couple of years is just partying, drinking, and freaking playing video games. I wasn't doing anything with my life, right? I wasn't earning like an income at this point. I had two decisions after hearing how much it was gonna be, right? Option A was, I can just be like, you know what? You're my dad, you take care of it, right? Basically, give all responsibility to my dad. Or option B, become a man and take matters to my own hands and pay him back, because it was my fault. I decided it was time to do something with my life. I finally had my first proper why, my first reason on making money. Okay, mission number one, I gotta pay back, I guess, the repair cost to be able to fix this racer and give it back to my dad in top condition. $12,000. I had to come up with $12,000. And this was my first proper why, because growing up I was delusional. Like many young men, I wanted to be rich, but I didn't have a freaking game plan. It was like a distant dream. Even if I didn't achieve the dream, as long as I had that dream, I feel like, okay, one day eventually I want to achieve it. What happens? Years pass, decades pass, you never achieve the dream. You gotta have an urgency, an actual proper why in order to execute a game plan to be able to make money. I had to pay back my dad ASAP to repair the dune buggy. So I left Mexico, went back to the USA with the drive like never before to make money. I scavenged the internet on how can I make money? How can I make a ton of money in such a short time? The only options I had was selling drugs or go to the casino. Hopefully you double your money. I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. I came across something called couch slipping. So it's basically buying a couch for like $100 on Facebook Marketplace. You clean it up, okay, you make it look real nice, you stage it, and you resell it for like $600. You make a profit of like 500. So I started doing that because it was something that seemed very easy at the time for me based on my skill set. So I was hustling, and within the first month of couch flipping, I made over $20,000. I was like, what the okay, I was like, god damn, I'm making good money here. For 1 month in of starting this couch flipping operation, I was already at $20,000 profit. That was enough to cover all the expenses, which was $12,000, right, for the racer, and enough money to freaking go back and party, go back and drink. I was excited. So I continued flipping couches for a couple more months, and boom, I went back to square one. Yeah, I know you didn't expect this plot twist. Yeah, me either. You probably thought, oh, Raul finally has a purpose. He's gonna continue making money. He paid the repairs. He's finally gonna amount to something. No, fuck. I was messed up out of the mind. After a couple of months of earning money, saved up enough money, went back to my old ways. Drinking and partying, and that's the reason why this video has two important dates, right? Two important whys in my life. The first why happened June 26, 2022. Okay, it was my first sense of urgency to make something of myself, my first proper why, but it wasn't a strong enough why. It wasn't a why that was gonna take me to millionaire status, right? Or taking me to like the high income range, which is why the second why is important, because it builds upon the first why. Okay, I had finally accomplished the goal of my dad, right? I helped him repair the racer. I had no need to continue making money. Okay, that was my urgent why. It wasn't until actually about a year later, or I had another proper why, I guess, come to my life. My dad sat me down. I got home like at 5 in the morning. I was drunk out of my mind, and I remember stumbling, hitting the door. My dad opened the door. He looked at me with disappointment. He's like, what the fuck is going on with you, Raul? You had such a good business flipping furniture. You made a couple bucks and you're back to square one, living the life of debauchery. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? I was like F you. You know, as a son, you go through different stages. Like when you're first born, you adore your dad, then you vilify him, then you accept him, and then you kind of like, fuck. You go back to adoring him. You feel bad for like everything you did bad. I forgot what the stages are, but basically in this stage of my life, I was like, you know what, screw you, dad. I paid you back for the racer. I'm done. I don't need to work or make more money. I thought he was gonna continue scolding me. I thought we were gonna have like this fight argument. He stayed quiet. He took me to my bed. I was still living in my parents' house. It was embarrassing. I was what, 23, 24 at this point, and he took me to my bed, and he didn't say nothing for a couple of minutes. He just looked at me. I was drunk. I was like, when is this gonna leave? When is he gonna leave? He didn't leave. He just looked at me, and I was like, what? I was, you know those drunk looks, like what? He looked at me with a face of pity, and he said some words that I'm never gonna forget. Never, which has given me my current why and what's pushing me. Okay, what's giving me urgency to finally, I guess, achieve what I meant to achieve in this life. That night, he told me, Raul, what happened to you? Growing up, you had vast dreams, and now you all have amounted to is a drunk. When I sent you off to college, I was working 80 to 90 hours a week. I sacrificed because I wanted you to be someone in life, because I never had that opportunity. Raul, you know it. I barely finished elementary school. It's so hard to make money in America. I wanted you to have a better shot at life than I did. All you amounted to is a drunk at parties. I had dreams that me and you were going to be doing business deals left and right. I showed you off to everybody in the family. You were the joy of the family because you were the first person to go to college. We all had high hopes for you. He didn't continue to say anything. He wanted to say the same thing as he'd been saying over and over and over again. I drunk. Because it was true. I had so much potential, but I was squandering it. I was crying like a little baby as my dad stood there by the door with his look of disappointment. Because what he was saying was true. My dad sacrificed so much to put me through college. My parents sacrificed so much to be able to take me from Mexico over to the USA to have a better life. They worked so hard, they sacrificed so much to give me a better life here in America. And here I was, their pride and joy, a complete drunk, a complete failure of a human being. After he left the room, I started thinking about everything I had been doing, all the decisions I've been taking as of that point. June 26, 2022, right? That was my first proper why. I finally had a reason to make money. I destroyed my dad's vehicle, the buggy. I finally repaired it, but then went back to my old ways because I didn't have a strong enough why, and why that was gonna pull me through the dark times and continue to keep me motivated, keep that momentum going. I didn't have a why that took me there. So that day I had my second why and my most powerful why. And I would have never had that why if it weren't for the first why, which is why I put so much importance in my first why, because it led to like a domino effect. And it made me realize that you needed a why to make money. You needed a why to leave the trenches, right? A why to leave your comfort zone, because it's not comfortable making money. It's hard, it's lonely, you get a lot of sacrifices. And with this new why, which happened in May 2023, I decided to stop drinking, eliminate all distractions, and have this tunnel vision. I'm gonna do something with my life. I don't wanna live a life of regrets. That's my why. And guess what was the first thing I did after having this proper why, the stronger why? I decided to buy the Doom buggy from my dad because it was symbolic, okay? It was symbolic to awakening my first why, and now this new why, it gave it purpose. If you don't have a why, a strong enough why, you will never amount to anything, because then nothing is important enough to push you. Once you identify your why, everything becomes easier. You're willing to sacrifice the distractions, the video games, the Netflix, the porn, because you have a why, something that's driving you to achieve a goal. In this case, making money and stop being broke. And look, I'm not perfect. Every once in a while, I have to reevaluate my why and why I continue to wake up very early, work from sunrise to sunset, 6 days a week, right? I gotta continue to reevaluate why push myself. To give you context, I had been flipping furniture for a couple of years, I guess, until this point, as of a couple months ago, because it was very profitable. I could never get to the $20,000 mark again, but I was making comfortably over $10,000 a month. But I wasn't satisfied. Okay, I wasn't satisfied. I knew I could do so much more, but I was continuing to flip furniture until I found something better. That's my mindset, right? Until I found something better. And as of a couple of months ago, I started a digital, marketing agency that's been pretty successful. Okay, I've been able to replace my couch shipping operation with a digital marketing agency, because digital marketing agency is much easier, and I feel like it's helping me progress, helping me evolve. It's something better than couch shipping. So I'm gonna continue doing digital marketing until I find something better. But for the time being, as of 3 months ago, I found success with it, right? I finally hit the 10K a month mark. That was always been my goal. So I've been able to replace the couch shipping operation, but I've been stagnated at 10K a month for the past couple of months. I need to have a why to push past the 10K a month, because at 10K a month, you're comfortable. Okay, I don't lack anything. So these past couple of months, I had to reevaluate my why. Just scale past that to $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. You gotta have a stronger reason to continue pushing yourself, because you get comfortable real quick. If your why's not strong enough, you're never gonna be able to escape that stagnated zone of like the 10 to 15K a month. So I had found it really hard to push past that. So recently I had rediscovered my why. If I want to experience the best life has to offer, make my parents proud, make myself proud, I need to earn more. And thanks to reevaluating my why, I'm making tens of thousands of dollars now with my marketing agency. And I know in order to get to $100,000 a month, I'm gonna need an even stronger why than the one I currently have. Because at $100,000 a month, right, you're literally at the 0.01% of the world. In order to get to that position, you gotta be a little crazy, right? You gotta have a really crazy reason, a really strong why in order to achieve that level. Well, I know if I want to continue progressing, okay, at the pace I'm at, right, I don't want to let momentum dry down. I gotta continue to find stronger and stronger whys, and that's the only way to leave poverty. You gotta give yourself a reason, a proper reason, okay, to leave the trenches, to stop being broke. Hopefully my story serves to inspire you, drive you in the right direction. Know that you're not alone. We all go through that phase of I guess, what do I do with life? And you go through that phase of you want to be rich, but you don't have a game plan. Just remember, you need a why. That why is gonna be the thing that helps you wake up in the morning when everybody's still sleeping. That why is gonna motivate you while you're in the gym, putting that extra mile in. That why is gonna motivate you when you're tempted to go back to playing video games. That why is gonna motivate you when you're tempted to go back to partying and drinking. So try to find out what your why is.